Hello friends, welcome to the discussion of another special topic, a powerful algorithmic technique in design and analysis of algorithms, that is dynamic programming. And in previous session, we have discussed about the working principle of dynamic programming and also the different applications, real-time problems that can be solved with the help of dynamic programming. And now here, I have considered an application of dynamic programming to solve the Warshall's algorithm. So now here, Warshall's algorithm, as I said, this is an application of dynamic programming. So we are using dynamic programming to solve this problem. The main purpose of Warshall's algorithm is to find transitive closure. So that is, we can say Warshall's algorithm is used to find transitive closure of a directed graph by using adjacency matrix. So now here, adjacency matrix means for a given undirected graph, we need to construct a matrix which is a Boolean matrix. And the construction of this Boolean matrix involves ones in the place of direct edge and zeros in absence of the edges. And the main diagonal should always 0. So means in this graph, A to A, B to B, C to C, D to D should be 0. And if I have direct edge between any two vertices, it should be 1. Like here, A to B, B to C, D to C, and D to A. So 4 direct edge, so there are 4 ones here. All other values are 0. For example, B to D or B to A. There is no direct edge, so B to A 0. From C, I can't connect directly to any other vertex. No direct edge from C to A, C to B, no edge, C to D, no edge. So all values are 0. So by using this adjacency matrix, we need to find transitive closure for the undirected, also directed, unweighted graph. So now, what is transitive closure here? So transitive closure is also an n by n Boolean matrix. So where element in ith row and jth column becomes 1 if there exists a direct path, not just an edge, if there exists at least a direct path from ith vertex to jth vertex. Then ith row and jth column becomes 1, otherwise it remains 0. So now in this example, for example here, I need to convert this adjacency matrix to transitive closure by replacing some of the zeros in this adjacency matrix by 1 if I get I to j path. So now here see, this is the transitive closure which you are going to get after applying this Warshall's algorithm. See, for example, here I got A to C, it was 0. Here I got A to C as 1. Means there should be a transitive edge from A to C, transitive path from A to C. So like, see, A to B, B to D, D to C. Yeah, starting from A, I have a path from A to C with B and D as intermediate vertices. So I have replaced 0 by 1. Similarly, to reach D also, A to B, B to D. So there is a path, it becomes 1. So like this, by applying Warshall's algorithm, we will get transitive closure. So in next slides, we'll see how to convert zeros to ones step by step. So the Warshall's algorithm, it calculates the transitive closure by generating sequence of n matrices. So that is starting from r power 0, r power 1 up to r power n. So as we know, dynamic programming, it will take the solution of previous subproblem for the next. For example, here to find r power 1, I should take the help of r power 0. Next, to get r power 2 matrix, I need to get the help of r power 1. So like this, by taking the help of previous results which are stored in the form of the matrices, we'll get the next matrix. Once I get r power n, the final matrix indicates my transitive closure. So now let's see just the simple pseudocode algorithm which is used here. Now initially I have to assume and initialize an adjacency matrix A, that is r power 0, which contains zeros and ones, where ones indicate the direct edges. So now we need to construct r power n by taking the help of r power k minus 1 and generating r power k. So to do this, just we need to check whether r power 0 already contains an edge I comma j as 1. If there is an edge j, then it remains 1. But assume that there is no edge between I and j. So then I need to take the help of an intermediate vertex k. So what I have to do, I need to move from I to k, then k to j. If it is possible to move from I to k and k to j, then I can replace, or then I can add a new edge I to j. So 0 presents in place of I comma j can be replaced by 1, and here k indicate intermediate vertex. So here we can have 1 intermediate vertex, 2, 3, or up to n intermediate vertices we can have. That is, if a graph contains 4 vertices, then I can have maximum of 4 intermediate vertex. So like this, we have to apply this by taking the help of dynamic programming, that is using previous answers to get the next answer, next solution. So repeat this till I get the final matrix, which gives us a transitive closure. So let us consider an example of this graph to find the transitive closure. So to begin with, I have to start with r power 0. So r power 0 represents a path with no intermediate vertex. R power 1, a path with one intermediate vertex, usually it will be A. R power 2 with two intermediate vertices, similarly R power 3, R power 4, etc. up to R power n, which contains ones in place where there are n intermediate vertices between source to destination vertex, and that forms as a transitive closure. So now let's start with r power 0 for the given graph. So r power 0, as we already discussed, it gives ones for direct edges, that is, it indicates a path with no intermediate vertex. For example, for this graph, just we need to find direct edges with no intermediate vertices. Then I will get here A to B, this green color I have indicated A to B 1, then B to D is 1, then with pink color I have given from C, there are no direct edges, then with pink color D to A and D to C. So this is our R power 0. R power 0 is same as our adjacency matrix, because adjacency matrix also contains zeros and ones based on direct edge. R power 0 contains zeros and ones based on the path with no intermediate vertex. A path with no intermediate vertex means same direct edge. So then next, to find r power 1, first we should know what is r power 1 here. The ones in r power 1 reflects existence of the path with one intermediate vertex. So here number of intermediate vertex is not higher than 1. It may be either 0 or 1. So if at all I have one intermediate vertex, then it should be A. So now for example here, to get R power 1, go to R power 0, select first column and first row which is highlighted here. Now in first column, we have to find the position of value 1. So now in this column, position of 1 is D comma A, that I have indicated here, first column position for 1. Then go to first row. In first row, find the position of 1. It is given here in green color. Position of 1 here is A comma D. So that I will write in second box as the position of 1 in a row. So now I need to combine this to form a transitive edge. So now here I have an edge from D to A and A to B. If we have D to A and A to B, so now here vertex A becomes an intermediate vertex and the edge DB becomes my transitive edge. So D to A to B, it will forms a transitive edge D to B. So now in R power 1, I got a new value. I got a new 1 at position D comma B. See here at D comma B, I got 1. In previous row, I have D comma B as 0. After applying the transitive edge with one intermediate vertex, I got here 1. So this one indicates edge from D to B with one intermediate vertex, that is A. So we can see that in this graph, moving from D to B with one intermediate vertex D to A to B. With the help of intermediate vertex A, we can move from D to B. So it means we have a transitive edge from D to B, that is 1. So now next step is to find R power 2. What is R power 2? So now again here R power 2 is a Boolean matrix where ones reflect the existence of path with two intermediate vertices. Means here number of intermediate vertices, it should not exceed more than 2, maximum 2 we can have. So means I can have 0 intermediate vertex, 1 intermediate vertex, or maximum of 2 intermediate vertices. So those intermediate vertices may be either A or B, or we can have both A and B as intermediate vertices from source to destination. Now to find R power 2, we need to take the help of R power 1. So take the matrix R power 1 and select second row and second column. So now go first to second column, find the position of 1. In second column, position of 1 I have indicated using the pink color. Position of 1 is so A to B and this is D to B. So A to B and D to B are position of 1 in the second column. Now we have to find the position of 1 in the row. So go to second row. So here position of 1 is, see here, B comma D. So B comma D is position of 1 in second row. So now by merging these, I need to find a new path. Path means more than one edge. Now I need to merge these two edges and find a path. So now here A to B and B to D. So here intermediate vertex is B. So I will get A to D. So new transitive edge. Similarly D to B and B to D. So by merging this I get D to D. So here now in R power 2 again I get two new ones. And position of those ones are AD and DD. So in AD and DD gets 1 in R power 2. See AD and DD, they get 1 in these two positions, and this forms R power 2. Means we got these two ones in this matrix by considering two intermediate vertices A and B. We can just see here A to D. If I want to reach D, I have to take the help of maximum of two intermediate vertices. So from A to B, B to D. So by using A or B, so here I got reach D. So I got new transitive edge A to D. Similarly here D to D. So to reach D with the help of A and B, so D to A to B, B to D. So again I got this as 1 here. So this indicates the new transitive edge in R power 2 with maximum of two intermediate vertices. Our next step is to find R power 3. So in R power 3, here once reflect existence of path with maximum of 3 intermediate vertices. So number of intermediate vertices is to not be higher than 3. So means I can have no intermediate vertex or only A as intermediate vertex or only B or AB or ABC. We can have maximum of 3 intermediate vertices. Again, as we have seen, to find R power 3, I should take the help of R power 2. So here R power 2 is this. So now from R power 2 to get R power 3, we need to highlight third column and third row. So now in third column, we need to find the position of 1. What is position of 1 here? Position of 1 is D comma C. D row and C column, that is D comma C is position of this 1 in third column, so that I have indicated is in pink color. Now in third row we need to find position of 1. So but here I don't have 1 in my third row, so here I have not written the position. If we don't have two edges, there is no question of getting a transitive edge, that is no question of getting a path, so there is no change in R power 3. So while moving from R power 2 to R power 3, I didn't get any path with 3 intermediate vertices, so R power 3 will be same as my R power 2. You see here, R power 3 is same as R power 2. We have not taken C as intermediate vertex here. So there are no paths from C. So this will not help us to get the transitive path. So next, to find R power 4, I should take the help of R power 3. So R power 4 indicates a Boolean matrix where ones reflect existence of path with intermediate vertices not more than 4. So maximum of 4 intermediate vertices. So maximum 4 means it can be 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4. It can be A, B, A, B, C, or we can have all 4 A, B, C, D to get the transitive path. So to find R power 4, first I need to take R power 3. Now from R power 3, I need to select 4th column and 4th row. To find the transitive edge, I should start with column. So now if I go to the column, so in 4th column, so go to this first one. What is the position of this one? Position of 1 is A comma D. Okay. Now for this A comma D, I have to merge A comma D with ones present in 4th row. So what are the position of ones available at 4th row? So this is D comma A in red color, D comma B, D comma C, D comma D. So now merge A D from column with all 4 ones available at row. So I get A to D, D to A as AA, AD, DB becomes AB, AD, DC becomes AC, AD, DD becomes AD. So now in R power 4, AA, AB, AC and AD will get the value as 1. But now again go to 4th column. So here now I have one more 1 in the 4th column. What is position of this 1? It is B comma D. So I get again B comma D. So now combine B comma D with ones available in 4th row. There are 4 ones in 4th row. Again, combining BD with these four, DA, DB, DC, DD, I get transitive edge B to A, B to B, B to C, B to D. Here intermediate vertex is again D. So next I have one more one in last column, that is this one. What is position of this one? It is D comma D. D through D column. Again combining this with ones available in fourth row. Okay, so combine DD with DA, DB, DC, DD. I get new transitive edges DA, DB, DC, DD. So now here it shows in R power 4, I get AA, AB, AC, AD. Then from B to A, BB, BC, BD, and DA, DB, DC, DD as 1. So I get here transitive edges in R power 4 like this. So first I will write AA, AB, AC, AD as 1. Then BA, BB, BC, BD 1. If I go for previous row matrix alpha in R power 3, so whatever the values we have in third row, we have to keep same. It was 0 there, it remains 0. Now for DD, so DA, DB, DC, DD, so we'll get it as 1. So now this is R power 4, which shows ones in the Boolean matrix where there is a path from one vertex to the next vertex with intermediate vertices. So now here this R power 4 shows the path with maximum of 4 intermediate vertices, and this forms a transitive closure for the given graph. So that is for this graph I got transitive closure matrix like this. That is here. This is my transitive closure graph. So this is how we have applied Warshall's algorithm using dynamic programming to get transitive closure for a given directed unweighted graph. And this concept can be used to solve many real-time problems in our day-to-day life.